Start with d4 Gudimov. Okay. Queen's Gambit. Slav defense. Play a slow Slav. Just defend the pawn. Let's kick once and see if he wants to take that. He does want to take it. That's interesting. Okay, well, we'll develop the bishop. Can block. And castle. I guess he wanted to get my bishop to this square with that check. Okay. Queen was hitting a loose pawn. He's moving very quickly. Okay, we got what we wanted here, I think, out of the opening. So I want to push the e-pawn. He takes, I take. Knight takes, bishop takes. He pretty much has to do, well, he doesn't have to take. He could push, but he needs to do something about the threat of me pushing. So taking is pretty common there. But he could also have played e5. Anyway, the idea is to drop the bishop back and set up a battery. It's getting pretty tough for black now. He needed to get the knight here a little quicker. Oh, he can block. Yeah, he can block with the pawn. I shouldn't say it's all that tough. Just create some holes in his structure here. And now this is weak. Can we exploit that somehow? And there's this. Let's bring a rook out. Didn't want the bishop blocking any of my squares, but I thought rook up and over was interesting. Gang up on this pawn. Bring my queen in. Maybe queen to this square. Let's see. I could put my queen here first. And put the bishop here, hitting his queen. Okay, so he stops that idea. Step here with the queen. This is maybe a problem. A loose pawn there. Yeah, if he does that though, I could push the pawn forward. But I don't like allowing his knight to this square. Could still think about putting the bishop here or here. Yeah, anyway, it was a very rapid, a very fast blitz game. Okay, he's going to hit my pawn. If he puts the knight here, I can just take it. So I'm guessing he'll move this pawn. Oh, moves the rook. Now, I push this pawn. He takes. Can't quite do it, huh? How about if I had a rook here and he took this pawn? And my bishop is hanging. I can't really drop it. Let's just defend this pawn. And see what he wants to do here. Rook here makes sense anyway, just as a general developing kind of move. Bishop might go here to defend this pawn if necessary. Okay, he just wants to dissolve things. Do I push? I mean, he's going to get this square for his knight anyway. I can't stop that. If I push, he takes. I can take with the queen. Weakens his center a bit. Could consider taking with the pawn, but let's do it this way for now. His knight is hanging. He can put the knight here now. Just defended. Okay, so he's hitting the rook, which is defended for the moment. But I could drop it back and hit his queen. With my bishop. Or open up that possibility anyway. Yeah, okay, just did that. So bishop here, I guess he will just move his queen forward maybe. I'm going to try and weaken his king side a bit. Okay, he's going to put his knight there with a double attack on my queen. Huh? Queen has no squares to go to after that. Yeah, well spotted. Oh no, the queen can go here. Queen has this square. But he gets the pawn. Let's check that sequence. Was there a moment where, when he went there, no, I had to move my queen first. Yeah. The knight, though, if it goes back here, you know, what he can do is he can push this pawn, I think. I think he can do that. There's no good retreat for the knight. It goes here, I'll take it. So yeah, I'm expecting him to play f6. Not sure what I do after that. I could retreat the queen here. I guess this has got some advantages too. I can Put my rook here. I see. I put my rook there. Then he will... Okay, I need to unpin. If I go here, I have to keep the pawn defended. He can... Yeah, if I go here, he can put his knight there. Too sad. Put his knight here, I mean. Yep, and it's defended by the queen and the rook. Is there any way to exploit that? Well, he's hitting my queen. Maybe I can pin it. No, he can move it with check. I have to take it. So now I can pin this knight, or this rook, because he can't move it with check. Okay, then I can at least mess up his pawns here a bit. Get into an end game. I'm going to lift my king up and put my rook over here. He should put his rook here, I guess. Yeah, that's good. Activate your rook. Can I do anything else here? Actually, I need to defend, don't I? Need to defend before bringing my my rook up. This might be a draw technically. I don't know. He's got an extra pawn, but bishops of opposite color. Activate the king. And just hold on to everything. Okay, looks like he's going for the draw too. Yeah, anyway, that was a good game. He played well. Yeah, I want to check and see if there was anything I overlooked. So let's go ahead and do the computer analysis. See what that looks like. It's thinking. Oh, it's taking its time. Okay, there was a lot of ups and downs. Can you see that graph? Let's go back to a big mistake here in the opening. Oh my, I missed an opportunity to fork him. So this was a bad move. Yeah, this was when he was moving so quickly. Should have reacted to that differently, right? I saw this. It's not so clear just looking at it. If I push, it plays here, it actually hits my bishop. What do I do here? Just defend. Why is this so good then? just because I've taken away all of his... his queen is nearly trapped. Okay, well that's interesting. That is interesting. So that was an opportunity. And then black had an opportunity around here. So, yeah, didn't like that pawn push. What should I have played here? Thinks black is a little better in this section anyway. But it thinks I should have played queen g5. Brought the queen over first. Yeah, I thought about that. And then I decided I was safe to push. But it wasn't, because he can play knight e5. And that would have been the best. Knight e5 would have been good for him. And he just starts pushing me around. Yeah, gets the rook. Oh yeah, knight e5 is double attack. That's what he missed. Knight e5 is a double attack. Okay, and then what was there? Anything else in this graph here? So after a couple of moves, then okay, so f6 was not the only move there. I thought it was pretty much the only move. What is queen c6? Queen b7, h6, h6. Yeah, okay, that h6 is another move to kick my queen. But what is with these queen moves? Oh, because my rook is loose. Okay, so I had a number of weaknesses here, and f6 wasn't the only move, but I thought it was pretty good. And then queen h4 was good. Actually, so f6 is still good for me because queen h4 keeps the pressure up. And then here, I need to find a better move here. Bishop, the bishop move. Ah, because the rook, my bishop is guarding this square, so the rook has no squares here. That's interesting. So then I win some material here, I guess. Win the exchange. And that was like my last chance for an advantage. And then he's slightly ahead, but it's pretty even after that. Look at the graph. Wake up graph. Yeah, little variation there, but basically even. Okay, well, let's see if we can get a rapid game. Frandiable? Let's play e5. See what he comes up with. The Italian game. I was playing the two knights for a while. I haven't played this in a bit. I don't think I'm going to play that crazy gambit line, but there are other interesting lines with the two knights. The two knights defense. And it gets people out of the standard Italian game lines that are so popular these days. The most challenging reply is knight here. He just castles. Should I grab the pawn? He didn't defend it. I go here, he just puts his rook here. Okay, now I have a choice of pawns. A plethora of pawns to take. If I take the e-pawn, he'll get a tempo with his rook. Probably push this one or take this one. Well, if he pushes, I'll put my knight here. So he'll take. I take, he takes. And then I can always retreat my knight here. When he takes with the knight, I have to castle right away because I have to worry about this coordination on the f7 point. You can't put the knight here. The bishop is covering that square. But he could put the knight here. Of course, if he does that, I can take it too. If he attacks the knight, I have d5 defending the knight. So that's an important move here. So he goes with the taking. Interesting. Okay, I can try and block his bishop like this. Actually, that's not a good move. Sorry. normally you have a knight here supporting this pawn push. That's just giving away a pawn. Played that reflexively. It's like a standard idea, but it wasn't a good move in this case. Yeah, he just takes it. Okay, anyway, lost a pawn for no good reason. Let's see if I can still win the game. Yeah, I think if he just moves the bishop, that's probably a good move. Offering the queen trade, which is hard to avoid. I would probably castle so I could take back with the rook. But yeah, let's go ahead and castle now. I'm probably going to play here. No, at least I've got a space for my queen. I want to avoid the trade. I need to play c6 here to restrict his knight, push his bishop back, and allow my bishop to develop, because otherwise it's tied up to the defense of the b pawn. So queen there. Yeah, knight here. So I guess he was interested in avoiding the queen trade too. And the knight was defending his bishop. For the second I was thinking, should I have just taken his bishop? But probably not a good idea to take that. Well, this is a position where I can fianchetto my knight. Play here, put the knight here, then I can bring the bishop out. I mean, there's some sense to it. Fianchettoing a knight is usually terrible. But yeah, there's some sense to it in this position. We'll see. Anyway, I wanted to kick in any case because of this threat. So I kick the queen. Maybe I'll bring my queen. Let's erase those lines. Maybe I'll bring my queen out here. Try and grab this pawn from the side. He can play f4 to defend it. But yeah, I don't have too many ideas here that I see. Like I said, there's the fianchetto of the knight. Let's do that. Actually, what I want to do is pawn here, bishop here. Or bishop here. Just get it developed. And the knight here stops f4 to f5. Stops that push, or slows it down. And he can still get it in, probably. He can play f4 easily. It's the push from f4 to f5. Yeah, there he goes. So if I go here now, what will he do? I'm trying to induce h3. The point of h3 to stop my bishop from coming here. But from my point of view, the point of h3 is to weaken this square. So my knight can go like this. Yeah, he's hitting my queen. Let's get my queen out of trouble there. There weren't too many squares for the queen, so I'm hoping there'll be a little more room over here, and maybe this pressure here will keep his knight tied down. He doesn't seem too worried about this. This would now win the exchange. Maybe he's wondering if he can get away with a move like this. So if he goes here and I go here, what's going to happen next? He could move the knight, threatening my queen. I could take his queen. He could take my queen. I could take his rook. So in that line, I win the exchange. Now the knight, if the knight went here though, that would be a problem because it would be threatening to take this guy with check. So in that line, it would be bishop, bishop, knight. Okay, he just moved away from trouble. I'm going to put it here anyway. See if he wants to kick me. See where he goes with that rook. He could put the rook here. No, he can't. He can't put the rook there. Bishop is guarding it. Puts the rook there. So anyway, it's thinking pawn to pawn, forces knight to move and snag a pawn here, but this is hanging. Could do the knight here, and then he could try and trap my bishop and take here. He takes back, and then I move. So that would give me a dark squared bishop. That would be useful. If I go here and he doesn't move the bishop, yeah, the bishop has no good moves. It can go back. That's the problem. I go here and the bishop retreats with this threat. I move my queen and then he traps my bishop. Okay, we're going to put this bishop here then. Could not convince him to play could not convince him to play h3. Interesting. So, two ideas here. One is maybe, oops, not that bishop, this bishop. Maybe this bishop here. Stops that one. And still we have knight here. And let's see if I can chase his rook away. This is loose. Now that he's pushed this pawn forward. Yeah. So that was a move he couldn't play, actually. Because he can't move the rook to attack my bishop. I'm still guarding this square. And when the rook moves, the knight hangs. So my strategy of keeping on playing after losing the pawn seems to have paid off. Let's see. You know, actually, I've been my opponents have been very clever recently, so maybe there is a way out of this. I don't see it though. If he moves the rook, I take the knight. If he moves the knight, I take the rook, and that's probably the better choice. He could move the knight to safety and just give up the exchange, because it'll be a bishop-rook trade. It won't be a whole piece. Whereas if he moves the rook, he gives up the knight. So probably in this position, his better choice would have been to retreat the bishop. I understand he didn't want to retreat, but sometimes you have to. And then I was thinking of trying to deflect that rook with some other move like this. But anyway, let's get back to the game. So what did he play? He played bishop there. So he decided not to move the knight, but to defend it and then let me have the exchange. So it's similar to what I said. Yeah, the exchange is better than losing a piece. Yeah, now he moves the knight. He's got good squares for the knight, here and here, but I'll trade it off. I'm going to bring my rook out. I want to put some pressure on that. Oh, he wants to do that. That's interesting. So I take queen takes. Then I take the bishop. Does he mate me? Let's see. I take queen takes. And the bishop is loose. I take the bishop. He can check me here. No, he can't. He can't check me. He has to move the queen. He doesn't have to move the queen. He can check me with the knight. I'll take it. Pawn back. We can't take with the pawn because that will allow me to trade queens. I think it's safe to take here. Maybe he forgot the bishop was hanging after queen takes pawn, or maybe he was relying on some other trick. Some other technique. He could just move the knight here again and leave me with a wrecked king side. It's kind of a weak position. My plan was to pile up pressure on his bishop. Okay, yeah, he just goes for the check. Now this is dangerous. Let's see, because there's a queen check and mate, right? But if I take here, Yeah, my idea is to take there. And if he tries the queen check, I can bring the rook over, but he'll just take my rook. Then what do I do? Okay, if I double rooks, he goes here with the check. I run this way. He comes in here with the check. I go this way. I step, step. He can check again. I step out here. Then he can take here with check. I can step here. All very scary. How about go I go here, put my rook on the side, there's no check. And then if his queen comes here, I go here. His queen, does it creep in here? Or I can push this pawn too. Open up this file. I think, yeah, moving my king is maybe the answer here. In tough position. And the idea is to push this pawn. Allowing me to defend along this aisle here. This queen can't go here, here, or here. But he can take the pawn, of course. Yep, now he's looking here. What can I do? I can double rooks here, I think. And then I can put the rook here to block this aisle. Now the bishop is hanging. My pawn is defended. There might have been a tougher way for white to attack there. A more challenging move. It'd be interesting to watch. Okay, so if I just go here, trying to take that bishop again. Can't really threaten that, can I? Pawn up? No, then I lose my rook. I guess rook up is the way to do it then. Queen can't come in here because I'm guarding that square. This is a real weakness here, though. Something to watch out for. I guess my king could actually step up to defend if his queen is out of play. Okay, if I put the rook there, he can attack it with the pawn, but I can take the pawn. Rook takes, queen takes, and then it's all over. If I can just convince him to... oh, he does that. He does that. Take here. Now let's think about this. I take with check. He takes back. I can bring the queen in with check and then over there. That's the way to do it. That's the way to defend. Now I take this pawn and his queen can't do any... Oh, I can't take the pawn. Okay, I go here. Protect my pawn. Okay, so I can take here. He has no check still that I see. He goes there. Now I have a check. Also, let's see. Yeah, if I go here, then he has a check all of a sudden, but I can drop back and that will block the check and defend the rook. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, that makes it easier for me. Go into an endgame where it's rook versus bishop, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pawns against 4. Okay, the thing to do is to get my rook onto the second rank here without losing it. So many things on light squares. I'm in pretty good shape here. He has a dark squared bishop. Notice all my pieces are on light squares. Convenient that he kind of chased them to light squares by attacking with his bishop. Just bringing my king over to support the advance of these pawns. He resigned. Alrighty, well, that was a couple of interesting games. I did want to check. Let's go back and check if I was actually in real trouble there. I think his attack looked pretty dangerous to me. So even after I was up the exchange, yeah, it's this point here. So just 0.8, 0.6. So then he pushes here. Can I take it? Now it's plus 12. Yeah, he's winning here. He played knight f6 check. So he should have played here. And what was my intended answer? Then he takes here. Oh yeah, I actually didn't think about that. I thought when I took, I didn't think he would check right away. I thought he would take the pawn. So if he had played here, that would have been all over for me, because he gets to take the pawn with the tempo on this pawn. That's a big threat, and no way to stop mate, actually. So I couldn't take there. And what I should have played, I'm still slightly better here. I should have played queen d8, just bring the queen back for defense. What if he does this? And I save my bishop. Okay, and he saves his bishop. And the queen. Okay, and this is even. The queen can attack and he gets enough play. So yeah, it's a good attack, but he didn't follow it up correctly. And after he went there, then it's switched and I'm better again. And that maneuver with my king worked. That did not work, however. Okay. Yeah, my original plan was to put the rook here. And it looks like that would still save things. Okay, so when I put the rook there, he can line up his bishop like this, bishop and queen. Yeah, my plan of blocking with the rook doesn't work when the bishop is behind the queen. Interesting. So then he's winning all of a sudden, but he didn't play that again. Okay. And after he went there, then I'm winning after this. Okay, no, he had a chance. So I should have come with the queen. Yeah, I was undecided whether to come with the king or the queen. I mean, the rook or the queen. So moving the rook gave him drawing chances. and even winning chances after that, but he played the wrong move here. Oh, yeah. I was thinking push this pawn to attack the pinned rook. And I take it. And I take it. But he doesn't push that pawn. He pushes this pawn, attacking this rook. And then this guy is under defended. Okay. Well, he was low on time by this point. And then this worked, finally. And I'm winning. Okay. Exciting game. Okay, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you next time. Bye now.